You'll have to excuse me this morning, or actually this afternoon. I have a little bit of a cold, but I got this thought that I want to share with you, and I gotta get off my buffer, my brain buffer. So I came across this report this afternoon that was published in December by the government. It says that the cost of the war will be at $3 trillion by the time we're out, if we are out by 2009. Now, I came across that number and it kind of hit me um, to look at this figure in a different way and share it with you. So let me see if I could kind of rush my way through this, and then you can at least watch the video twice to see if you follow. I'm going to go through a lot of different numbers, and I don't have all the fancy graphics because I just don't have time for that. But I'll work on it, and I promise maybe next time I at least have a graph or a table. But let me rush because my throat is sore, and I don't want to start going into a cough attack. Okay, so cost of war, $3 trillion. So I'm going to take that number right off the bat and cut it in half and assume that we would have done something else similar to the war. We probably would have spent more money in Afghanistan and probably done the right things there. So I'm going to take the $3 trillion and cut it in half and say that the cost of the war in Iraq was really 1.5 dollars. Now that's pretty conservative. I know it's higher, but I want to make the point that even whenever I use conservative numbers and not aggressive numbers, the data still overwhelmingly supports my argument. And I will make my argument at the end of the video, not at the beginning of the video. So let's stick with this. $1.5 trillion. Okay, there are 100 million households in the United States. Each of those households have cars, one, two, three, four, whatever. But on average, each household drives about 15,000 miles per year. And on average, American cars on the road average about 15 miles per gallon. I think those are pretty good assumptions. I could tweak the numbers a little bit here and there, but I don't think it'll change my core analysis too much. So when you look at each household then, 15,000 miles, 50 miles per gallon, that yields a result of 1,000 gallons of gasoline required by each household. And with gas currently at about 350 per gallon as of early 2008 here, February, that means that each household is spending about $3,500 on gas. Now, you could argue that gas will be lower if we did not have the Iraqi situation, which led to the Iranian situation and the destabilization of the whole region to some extent with the wars going on there. But you could also argue that if we didn't go to war, maybe gasoline would have been higher as well because of some other issues. So I'd rather remove that from the argument and use the current gas price of 350. So using 350, 1,000 gallons per household per year, that means that each house is spending about $3,500 on gas per year. Again, some households are spending a lot more, and some are not spending any money because they don't own cars, like in New York City and some of the other large cities where they barely drive, even when they have a car. So on average, I think that's fair. Now let's go back to the cost of the war. At $1.5 trillion of spending in the war and 100 million households, that means that each household has incurred by the government's war on Iraq $15,000 of additional debt. So in other words, every household has a $15,000 credit card that you don't know about that was, or a reverse mortgage of sorts that was loaned out in either new printed money or some kind of security that was sold to China, and so forth. So $15,000. Now, when you take those $15,000 and you take the yearly cost per household of gas of $3,500 per year, if you divide 15,000 by $3,500, again, this is using the conservative figure, that means that the war, instead of going to war, the U.S. government could have given everyone free gasoline for 4.3 years. Now we're going into year 5 here of the war. So essentially, we could have had free gasoline um, issued by the government for 4.3 years. Using the government's number of $3 trillion, that's 8.6 years. That's another way of looking at the war. Thank you.